Alright everybody, welcome to chapter 13, the final chapter of Knack, No Man's Land.
Wow, that's incredibly fitting. And by the way, Dwibs is officially buzzed with 3 cans of cider.
What buzzed as in?
Alright everybody, alright, Teo, you know how this game really wasted its potential in not playing around with the whole mechanic of Knack being able to change his size?
Yeah.
That's because that was entirely reserved for this final chapter.
Okay.
And terribly. I'm just gonna say it's terrible. It's like, okay, look. While this is technically where the game tries to be its best, it kind of ends up being at its worst because of it. Like, it's amazing. You'll see what I mean when we get there.
Also, this chapter is chock full of guardians.
Yep, which means, hey, now you actually got difficulty, only again, they can do all these moves while you have got, at best,
We already had difficulty. I already had trouble fighting the fucking bugs.
Yeah. Also, why are Viktor's henchmen fighting us? Viktor's dead. Like
Because they want to carry on his memories over.
You know, that's actually an interesting idea. Shame the game doesn't even try.
Yeah, again, this last part feels the rush is the most rushed one.
Congratulations,
yeah, like
Mark.
Shadow said in his review, this entire final level just comes out of fucking nowhere. You'd think the final level would have been, you know, with Viktor, and we have a big fight with him on a robot or something so we can steal back the key or something. But no, Mark decided, nah, it's stupid. Let's have Lord Sauron back for some reason.
Like, seriously.
And let me remind you, everybody, this game, and neither does the sequel, by the way, ever explain what the hell that Lord of Sauron eye is, what the hell it's doing here, where did it come from, and what the hell does it have to do with anything.
Hey, Pedro, how much you...
Lord of the Rings did.
Hey, Pedro.
What?
Since that eye is kind of implied to, you know, be tied into Knack and his origins, how much you want to bet they were saving that for the 3rd Knack game?
That's, well, yeah, Knack 2 ends with Knack going on a journey to find himself or some shit like that. So my guess is we're gonna find out about the... Don't worry, Teo. You'll find out about that I have Sauron on the 3rd game.
If it ever happens.
Never ever.
Knack 3, Finding Lost Sails.
Also, congratulations, Mark Cerny.
And how will the world be able to cope with the fact that we will never learn what the Eye of Sauron for Knack is?
Oh, I have an idea. Let's have the dude make an ideal headcanon for what would have happened in the 3rd Knack game.
Yeah, I've got it. I've actually come up with a perfect idea.
Let's hear it.
Knack on the journey. Knack died on the way back to his home planet.
Brilliant, but that's perfectly fitting.
But is the document regarding his no return whatsoever perfect in legal details?
Yes!
Yep. Yep. Knack even signed an affidavit before he died.
Allow me to remind everybody.
Ah, the shockwaves!
Allow me to remind everybody that the only reason this game is even happening is because the 2 scientists are the stupidest people, the 3 scientists, both Vargas, Viktor, and Charlotte. The only reason this game is even happening is because these 3 people are the stupidest people that were ever born.
Also, I'm gonna drive the line here again. Why are Viktor's robots fighting alongside the Guardians? Shouldn't he be against the Guardians?
Well, sometimes they fight against each other, but a lot of times we seem to be active against. We're operating on Monster Hunter logic.
Hey.
Essentially, we're concentrating on just the player and not between each other.
Oh no, we're back to ugly Knack.
Oh, don't worry, Dwibs. He's gonna get even uglier.
Not just that, I didn't complain about it in the previous part because we were almost
Oh
at
my
the end,
god, this is literally a Minecraft world, you lazy artists! Sorry.
Ring.
And now Crash Bandicoot sequence.
Alright, the ring that sucks away the rating.
So congratulations, Mark Cerny. Dwibs, while drunk, can think of better plots than you can.
You know what kind of music would be appropriate for that kind of sequence, Joe? Yeah, which Crash? I'm sorry. What I mean is that chase sequence there. What Crash chase theme would be appropriate for that one?
Boulder one.
The one from Crash 2?
No, Crash one.
Sure, whatever. I would like to mention that also another thing. I want to remind you that when they read in the wall that whoever opens the door will bring in great danger and doom the world and all that shit, you know. I want to remind you that Viktor was listening to them via the bug he put on Lucas's pendant, so he heard all of that. So Viktor knows what was written there, and yet he didn't hesitate in opening the fucking door. Dude, you didn't think that maybe there was something up? I mean, why is everybody in this game so fucking stupid?
That was pretty
Pedro,
clever of you, Pedro. Letting the mooks take out each other.
Well, don't worry, Pedro. You can ask his shoe, because that's all what's left of him.
Yeah.
Hey, Pedro, what you did just there, that was classic Bioshock action of watching mooks turn on each other.
Yeah.
Well, Bioshock, which one, Jova?
Bioshock,
Oh, goody. Oh, shit.
Bioshock 1 and 2 for sure. I'm not quite sure if Infinite has a Vigor that allows you to sway mooks against each other.
I'm not sure. I think there is. I don't know.
I don't remember. I definitely remember in 1 and 2 though. There are a lot of funny times where you can get stuff like Big Daddies to turn on Splicers, Splicers to turn on one another, turning Big Sisters on to the Big Daddies. It goes on.
Yeah, but yeah,
That's a one
That's
kill,
it.
really.
That's the thing, Jova. From what I've played of Infinite so far, it takes a while for any real big plot to start.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's called build up, I believe. So.
I'll admit.
Don't worry, Tail.
but
I love
honestly-
when it kills.
honestly-
Don't I? I
honestly,
love them.
Honestly, Tio, even by build-up standards, it takes a while.
The problem with Infinite,
choices.
no, sorry, with Bioshock. The problem of Bioshock Infinite's plots are completely different, and
My main issue with Infinite is that
build up of these.
my issue with Infinite is that yeah, it has a pretty good story, but unlike the previous two Bioshock games, your choices mean jack squat pretty much in the long run.
Not just that, Jova, remember that fucking puzzle at the beginning that insults your intelligence.
Not too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Like,
You mean the one where you have to throw a ball
imagine,
at?
considering Pedro being a Layton fan, I can imagine him getting pissed a lot if he actually sees that.
Which is a
Do
shame.
you mean the one where you have to throw a ball at someone?
No, the bell one at the Faro. But essentially, Pedro, the game gives you a puzzle and literally brings you the solution to your face at the same time. We don't even give you any build-up or, hints or anything. It's
Brilliant.
just, giant relics.
Oh, it's those explosive ones, I think, since they're red. Oh wait, no, those are just
So there you
roads.
go. Now we're actually using the big relics, so we'll become even bigger.
And uglier.
Oh my
Now
god.
we've become
Well,
present now.
Well, remember, Tim, we already established the rule. The bigger he gets, the uglier he gets.
That's sad.
So he's now becoming Tetris Knack.
Now he's a big man.
Oh, don't worry, Tail. He'll get even bigger than this.
And yet,
Anyway.
and yet still enemies that are so much smaller can still mop the floor with you.
Yes,
Alright.
because why not?
Because it's not
even
like
just that.
being bigger would make you more formidable. No. It just gives you an extended health bar that doesn't mean anything.
It's not
Yeah,
even just
exactly.
that, Tail. It's not even just that, Tail. Let's take.
Implying that there's anything of meaning.
Camera angle.
It's not even just that, Tail. Let's take, for example, the 13-2 room spinning
alright.
puzzle in the tower. Like, I hate when a game throws me an incredibly boring menial chore and calls it a puzzle. That, or when whenever there's a quote-unquote puzzle that has no logic to it, like in Sonic 4 Episode 1. A puzzle needs to have a logic to it. It can't just be random guesswork.
I like the torch puzzle though.
I don't like the torch puzzle because it's just random guesswork and there's no logic
No,
for the player.
wait, hold on. I thought it was like the third stage that was random guesswork. The torch one actually does have some thought to it.
All right, what exactly are the hints and logic for me to decipher? Because all I can see is a bunch of torches, and I'm just supposed to try all of them until I figure out the combination.
I don't know. The idea is like to basically guess like the right one to correlation. And why? Oh my God, Gary!
And that's exactly the problem. And
Pedro,
that's exactly my problem,
this
Jova. You're supposed
game-
to guess,
this
not
game-
figure something out.
This
That's
game,
exactly my problem.
Pedro, it's so bad that we're actually talking about Sonic 4 Episode 1 instead.
Puzzles are about figuring out some things for some kind of logic, not through guessing.
I never really found that to be guesswork though, because like you sort of have to guess where you do the torching from though.
More like behind your question, Pedro, is like, isn't the the level so short anyway that the guess word is actually non-existent, instead it's linear?
Not to me, because the first time I played that level, I spent a shit ton of time on that room because I had no idea what the hell was the game expecting me to do, because the game wouldn't give me anything.
It seems to be a thing where I kind of get logic made by Dim's games that Pedro doesn't get. Like how I aced that boss in Sonic Pocket Adventure that he had a lot of trouble with.
Yeah,
oh, Giant Guardians. Fantastic.
Giant Guardian, yay. And it's killing all of Viktor's robots.
Let me guess, they're only vulnerable on the crystals behind them.
No, you can just beat the crap out of them.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, by the way...
These robots are actually... Okay, to be fair to... Okay, here's the thing. These robots, for as big as they are, and for as much as they're actually really easy to defeat. Why? Their attack patterns are incredibly easy to see coming. Don't worry. That was just me for the sake of...
so he could get better health.
Yeah, for the sake of recovering health. And again...
and also spawning the sunstone, okay.
See, oh, wow. Wow, you know it's bad when the game practically knows you need this trick to win. See, here's the problem with these guys.
No, it's not so much that, Joe, but as I was about to explain, these enemies are actually really easy to defeat, because their attack patterns are really slow and very easy to telegraph. There you go. See, his punches are so slow, and you can... There you go.
Just I got a second, I'll hit you soon.
The problem is that when they do hit you, though, it takes like half of your health bar. Like, that's BS for something that isn't a boss.
But look how big I am, Joba.
Honestly, I'll be honest, that looks like one of the really bad Christmas graphics.
Hey, by the way, for the sake of memory, guys, this Knack as big as he is, that's the Knack that we see on like the opening menu.
Yep.
And it's also, I think, the Knack on the... Okay, maybe not the Knack on the cover.
This is the build up as to how we got there.
Yeah. And wow, what a letdown this Knack is visually.
Well, how the robots are doing absolutely nothing.
It's not even just that, like, basically, my game, because a little sneak peek, the climax of Knack 2 is much more different than this one. It doesn't rely on Knack's size. Instead, it relies more on, like, it's both a boss battle, well, okay, actually...
Oh my god! The tiny enemies are actually still a factor here.
True.
Wow.
The final level of Knack 2 is a lot more platforming involved instead of this one, which is much more combat driven. So there's a lot more jumping and figuring and finding hidden passages in that. So that's definitely a much better climax.
I guess.
I guess.
No, actually, no. Surprisingly, no. And however, the final boss of Knack 2 is... Yeah, let's just say I don't like it, and you'll see.
It sets you up for failure, to say the least, in a bad way. Also, I guess that explains why, just Red, I guess smaller, larger Knack is on the cover of Knack 2, as opposed to biggest Knack, which I'm pretty sure is on the cover of Knack 1.
Oh god, that Valk was sleeping through the hour.
But yeah.
Be impressed, guys.
So there you go, guys. The largest Knack is on the cover of the game,
so he's the power of the PS4.
Again, so guys, essentially, the biggest one that Knack has is on the cover of the first game, and you only get to play as it during the final level. That's like
Which
if you
is
had...
anticlimactic as fuck.
That's like if you had Super Sonic on the cover of a Sonic game. It's like, come on.
Or like you have Lightning at the cover of one game and you can play there only for like 5 minutes at the beginning.
Oops.
Or if you... But dude, that's a lie. You can always buy her DLC episodes.
Of course.
Of course.
I have to pay extra to play as who's on the cover.
Like if it's something like a title where the person or the monster on the cover is like the antagonist, like Diablo, I don't mind, but we know that it wasn't the case of 13.
Speaking of playing as people, I still haven't tried out swapping characters in Final Fantasy 15. I have to get back to the main campaign to try.
So is that out of you have to play the episodes in order to be able to swap?
No, it's not that, Jova. It's included in an update. It's not part of DLC. What happens is Jova, the first DLC episode where you play as Gladio, then you have another episode where you play as Prompto, then you have another episode where you play as Ignis. What they did is
Now we know what great danger in that cave painting meant.
I love how Charlotte isn't even the least bit scared of the fact that there's a gigantic fucking golem right in front of her.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Knack says great danger and then Vargas says end of the world. What great danger? What end of the world? Knack has been dealing with this stuff just fine, and we don't even have, like, I don't know, volcanoes erupting all over the place. Like, it's just been contained to this one area.
Oh no, hey Jova, you know what he actually reminds me of now the closer I look at Knack?
What?
He reminds me of the tribes people from Pan.
You see, Teo, bigger and better.
You know, those weird pastel colors.
But Pedro, size doesn't matter.
True, yeah.
Pedro, what is the mindset behind having bugs still be an opponent in this level like this game is trying to do?
I don't know, Jova. I think Mark has a serious obsession with bugs.
Yeah.
Well, this was done partially by Japan Studio, so maybe they were referencing the bug collecting thing that's between the young people in Japan in general.
Well, the issue for me with this is like, okay.
How does that fit into this clearly American cartoon vibe that they're going for?
Not only that.
Fucking idea.
Not only that, but it's kind of like an issue I have with Mighty Number 9. You know, well, I mean, yeah, we know that Anticlimatic are technically the people. Are technically the people who, you know, developed and put together the game. However, again, though, Concept were the ones behind the reins. And, you know, like with how Mighty Number 9 contradicts most of Anticlimatic's efforts, this kind of contradicts most of Japan Studios' ventures. So I'm kind of led to believe that Mark Cerny was the one heading a lot of issues here.
Also, yeah, you cannot actually stomp on the smallest enemies, although you technically should be able to.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, we were just very polite to wait for me there.
Well,
I just wanted to let them kill the other enemies.
Yeah, but after that we just stay still, doing nothing. We don't even try to do
and look at that, since now I'm really big, these big guys have become jokes.
Wow.
Even though these enemies were introduced like 5 minutes ago and they've been reduced to jokes.
I'll give credit to this, at least this final level is not that
is not what?
Frustrating, you know.
Oh, don't worry, Tio. That's what they're saving for endgame.
That's reserved for the boss battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna rage, Tio. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna rage.
No, I'm gonna rage.
Yeah, he's the one playing. Come on.
I'm the one playing. What
well,
does he...
And no, behold, still the deadliest enemies, guys. Random beams of light.
I hate you.
Anyway, Tio, I'm just guessing you're gonna rage because you raged during Mighty Number 9.
I'm the one raging here.
Hold on, let me finish.
Jova, as long as
Wait. Now they don't one-hit kill you? What?
Consistency. What the fuck is that shit?
Pedro, what's going on? What? Wait, when did those things decide suddenly not to be one-hit kills?
Oh my god, this is so ugly.
But Teo, this is the power of all the PS4 relic object physics.
You know,
for the players.
You know, Dwibs, as you know, Dwibs, as the guy who normally gets drunk, you've been surprisingly quiet.
He's BRB.
Oh.
He went to get himself sober.
Good luck with that.
What did you were saying, Jova, about Teo raging? Because Teo seems to be laughing, for what I can tell, at my expense.
Okay.
No, I'm more confused than anything.
Okay. It's like, well, I'm just recalling how during
What's that disc even?
Does that even want to kill you?
It's a dark energy disc. If you touch it, you go straight to the Shadow Realm.
No, Sam Riegel, I will not accept this bullshit.
Wait. That was Sam Riegel who voiced Arcana?
Yes.
Now I have to actually see the official dub of that episode, thanks.
Oh, trust me, Jova, we spent like a good 5 minutes explaining only the Dark Magician Girl card. I'm not even kidding.
You never seen Arcana dubbed in English, Jova?
No. Let me actually, okay. I think I may have seen that episode a long time ago, but that was
Also,
before I knew that Sam Riegel was the voice actor. Also, I mean, nowadays I've just seen that episode with the little Kariba Prince. Wait,
What even are those?
those tiny things took away more than half of your health bar.
Well, also, am I the only one who noticed that we've basically entered into a completely different level by this point?
Yeah.
You're just climbing this pyramid thing. Oh my god.
Wow.
Where did all this thing even come from?
Did the Eye of Sauron create all this stuff?
Beats the hell out of me since the lore of this place is never explained aside of the Crystal Wars from the sequel.
So
we never explained what the hell that Sauron thing is. We never explained what these ruins or whatever structures these things are.
You think these things will be relics, but Knack doesn't absorb them after they are defeated.
I know, guys. I think this may actually be worse than things that don't follow the rules of show, don't tell. At least games that tell all their stuff would have at least explained stuff.
Oh my god.
Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This game is actually making me consider whether or not I prefer a game that fails at show, don't tell.
This game doesn't tell nor show. It just goes on and that's it.
It's like, Final Fantasy 13. This makes Final Fantasy 13 look masterfully wise by having the data log. That's how bad this is.
I'm gonna have to disagree, Jova, because while the data log does explain some things, it still doesn't explain everything. There's still a lot of shit that only gets reserved for novels and shit like that.
Well, obviously it doesn't explain everything, but at least it explains stuff that you need to know for the overall plot. And again,
to an extent.
What I'm saying is that this game is so bad with explaining stuff, just showing us random things, that I had a better time understanding what was going on in 13 with the data log.
It's more similar to in that regard.
To what now?
Sorry, I'm sorry, Teo, could you repeat that?
This game is, in that regard, Jova, is more similar to the Dark Crystal in terms of handling the lore and just presenting the elements to you.
But, Teo, if we can stop this by doing nothing, then we'll do nothing.
So it's like Luigi in Mario Party. We win by doing absolutely nothing.
Well, I was referencing 13, but sure, that works too.
I get it. I'd
Okay.
rather use a good game for comparison.
Oh, he looks...
Look at that size of that thing.
Okay, and this chapter is literally called the
Drips,
Cliff...
I present to you the new Sony mascot.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah, giant ball crystal stone thing.
Kratos, step aside.
Crash Bandicoot, stay dead. Cat from Gravity Rush, ha, who even are you? This is Knack, baby!
Jesus God.
The master of donkey memes.
That's all he'll be remembered for probably after this. Not just because he was forgetful, because his games are very bad. We'll remember them for being bad.
It's a new Bubsy when you think about it.
But
here's the thing to you, even Bubsy's back, so now Knack's kind of out of a job there too.
Don't worry. Also,
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
You'll have to be more specific, Tio. Everything in this game is starting to
There
look
was
gross.
also something behind that gate, like probably
You'll
a gigantic version of those
Oh,
claws.
you'll see.
Yeah, there you go. A gigantic version of those claw enemies. Because we totally needed this.
Send away, please.
It's okay.
Oh,
They're
and that's
pushovers.
it.
Oh look, another dark energy disc.
But it's a bigger one.
It was a
Hey, by the way, notice how there's those red energy crystals that would blow us up? Yeah, those never show up in this level. Like, you'd think that, since this is the final level, we'd see a lot of those explosives, but nope. I mean, they're just in the background. We don't even know what might happen.
So, yeah, there's relics around, but where are they?
Probably under the bridge. There you go.
Oh, there they are.
Huh. So, the one time the relic detector comes in handy.
And yet the relics still came automatically to me anyway.
And it's for the final level, Joe.
Like, seriously, this is like if the Master Emerald shards immediately came to you in the adventure games. If you were close to them.
And we're done.
Also, gotta love how so far you haven't found any single one of the rooms with RNG treasure inside of them.
There's none in this chapter 2.
That's
So
the
technically,
thing,
the
Teo.
last,
Victor's
place
airship
where you
is
can,
the last
yeah,
one.
that's the last place where you can take them.
And let me remind you, Victor's airship is...
But Teo, doesn't the prospect of repeating chapter 12 over and over and over appeal to you?
No.
And let me remind you, Teo, as far as I know, Victor's airship is the only one where you can possibly get any form of crystal ropes.
Yeah, that's
and
what,
there are at
that's
least
what we just said, yeah.
and there are at
The
least
Ruby
4.
Reddit, yeah.
And there are at least
What are you doing?
Oh,
Knack.
He's playing darts.
That'll work.
He's gonna use relics to create platforms.
Why? He couldn't do this before?
Why can't he just climb?
I quit.
No, Joe, but you're almost at the end.
No, I mean, I quit trying to defend this.
Wow,
Wait,
seriously?
never mind. Wait a minute, hold on. What am I saying I quit? I was never even defending this game to begin with. Never mind. And now we're back to smaller large Knack. Yeah, apparently Knack was so large that he had all these relics to make up.
You know what this reminds me of, Jova?
What?
Reminds me of the Great Hall level in Crash Swab, where you have to get all the little... You have to get all the gems to get to the end. Well, the proper end.
Oh, the Great
yeah.
Hallway.
Hey guys, do you want to feel like you wish you would play Crash Bandicoot instead? Well, here's Knack, a game that will make you beg for a Crash Bandicoot game.
Which is funny because the year the sequel came out, we actually did get, well, 3 actually in one game.
Yeah.
Granted, they were remakes, but still.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Oh no, guys, that enemy is destroying platforms. You better hurry.
Considering the high success, hopefully Sony will once again make another deal with Activision. Okay, you guys don't care about it, but how about this? We'll just like with the Insane Trilogy, we'll get Vicarious Visions to make a Crash 4, and you guys can just sit there and collect the money.
But there already is a Crash 4, remember?
I mean, like an official Crash
New
Bandicoot
game or something.
Rapha Cortex.
So he's gonna absorb them again. Oh, okay.
Never mind the fact that Mook kind of, knocked a few down. Now he acts as if none of them were gone, and we don't even get a
great
full
transition,
animation.
Man. So what are you gonna do now? Punch the shit out of the walls? No. Okay.
No, the walls
No.
are shifting.
Also, this level drags.
Oh, Pedro, you missed a few relics apparently.
Whatever. Moving on.
At this point, Knack is enough gigantic.
No, Teo, he's gonna get even bigger and uglier.
How bigger you can get?
You'll see.
So, the music is telling you to be excited.
Okay, so you know how the level,
Sorry, Pedro.
you know how the level design changed before?
Now it's
Why
changing
is it not
again.
changing?
Yep, art style wise. Like, okay,
You see, Teo, we had 3 levels that we wanted to make. We couldn't decide between each of them, so we just mushed them together.
Again, going on with the themes of this final part being more rushed than the actual game.
In fact, Mark, in order to make up for the rushed development, how about just omit this chapter altogether and just have the final boss be Viktor in a robot? Wouldn't that be better?
That Pedro, then we wouldn't have been
I mean,
able
the
to...
game is short enough on its own.
That Pedro, then we wouldn't have been able to see how much Knack can render on the PS4.
Or hey, how about an actual Gandahar and...
There you go, Teo. Now he's even bigger.
Oh god.
This could be like a freaking PS3 game.
It's
Or
like I
with
said, this
people
is
going
essentially
bling,
a tech demo that you're paying money for.
Yeah, basically. And it's not even a good tech demo because, like we've said, Knack just looks like a pile of crap.
I mean, for as much as we complain about the first Assassin's Creed game being practically a tech demo, that one felt at least like a proper game. And, it felt like something that had good roots, something
Even
to
bigger
actually
now.
make good.
Holy shit.
Also, as for your PS3 comment, but Wiz, what about all the particle physics?
I'm sure the PS3 could do those too.
Don't you see, Dwib? So the
The
PS4.
Final Guardian. Are you guys ready? Are you guys all right? Are you guys excited for the final boss?
Why didn't you just call this? Why didn't you just call
Welcome
this?
to the final boss of Knack 1.
Really? You don't
This
even
Yep.
you don't even fight the eye itself.
Hey,
Nope.
Pedro.
Yeah, you do, but you'll see too.
Oh yeah.
Pedro, why don't you just call this the Last Guardian?
Because the Last Guardian is a work of art and I don't want to bring it in here.
Wait. Oh my God. Wait.
Honestly, why does it look like he's moving like Crash and SCWRM's walking animation?
Oh my
Because
God.
because you see, Dwibs, this was entirely a pilot, a beta version of Crash and Same Trilogy.
You know what I mean, Joe? You know when you just slightly put the analog stick forward, it just starts doing this.
And
Oh,
now
it's
stop.
not-
Fuck you, game. Alright, let me explain the boss. Okay, yeah, now he's using his particles to create a sword. What you have to... Right now you just have to dodge his sword and...
Ah!
Now right now you just have to dodge his attacks and then beat him when he... Okay, so that... as for the previous times when you saw earlier, whenever he has the green particles surrounding him, you're supposed to just punch him out of the way and then punch him, like you saw the first time I did.
Now here's the thing.
And yes, every time I damage him, he does this. It's annoying.
Now here's the thing.
Shockwave.
Pay attention to the boss's face. You may have noticed. Oh yeah, that's right. The next.
Also, this boss makes me walk towards his next phase.
Okay. Hey, Tia. Hey. Who was it that called that the final boss was gonna be Knack's evil brother?
Waves probably.
Basically, essentially,
Very,
this.
very are the
essentially-
building rocks. Huh?
You may
But
not.
where did they come from? They weren't there when I.
So essentially, this boss has superpowered versions of a lot of Knack's attacks, like the ground pound screw off attack.
That's because. Well, actually, I'll get back to you on the sequel.
Yeah. This is cool, but I will say this though, that's essentially what this boss is, an evil version of Knack. It's you fighting an evil version of you.
No.
At least that's what
That
the...
doesn't look even remotely like Knack.
No, Joe, but like I said, that's reserved for Knack 2.
Well, yeah, that too, but again, Pedro, that's essentially what this game was trying to do. Remember the ending dialogue about how they say, oh, maybe this had to do with Knack or something. Again, remember, Tio, Knack's core is essentially a smaller version of that eye.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Joe, but the game never explains anything else about the eyes, so...
That guy looks like red. Oh, cutscene.
Oh my god, that thing looks hideous. Knack, I mean. You
Already.
know what's sad? You know what's sad? The final gun looks like a more appealing mascot than Knack. Look at Knack.
Is the fight over already?
No.
Nope. Remember,
that's
Tio,
it.
you have yet to see how cheap this boss can get.
Well, like you yourself said, Teo, we still haven't fought the core.
Okay,
No.
so we're essentially going to do a repeat of that sequence we did earlier.
All right, Webs. Start placing your bets. Which climax will be better, this or Return of the Kings?
Return of the King.
Yeah, Return of the Kings was epic. I mean, yeah, I don't care how long it went. I was at least excited and hyped.
Okay, I'll admit, I didn't really like all the 85 endings either, but still.
That's a problem. You know what's
Did you
funny?
guys saw that enemy
Wait,
went
that-
flying away?
So
Yeah,
that enemy
it's
just went,
wonderful.
you know what, screw this, I'm out of here.
Yes, TM.
According to the books, there should have been at least one or two more.
Whoa, so Peter Jackson actually cut down on stuff there.
Peter Jackson, you omitted 1 and 2 endings. Ruined forever.
Actually, yeah, because he could have cut some of the others in favor of some of the others as well, because the
So,
one cuts were
again-
actually interesting.
Again, though, I still don't
And there's
understand why he
conveniently an elevator
Alright,
on
here we
this.
go.
I still don't understand why he cut out Saruman's death. That was like a 2-minute scene.
Hello.
Didn't he put it back in the extended edition?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know why it wasn't in the theatrical version.
Idol? From
No, it's the
Hillary
final
Clinton.
guardian. No, it's not. It's the final guardian survived,
And-
and now the core decides to give its own power to the final guardian in a
Like-
desperate attempt to destroy Knack.
Like I said,
Final boss of
Like-
Final Fantasy 12 all over.
like I said, evil version of Knack, essentially.
Final Fantasy 12 was more fun than this.
Yeah, but it's the process is literally the same of the Undying.
Okay, guys, contest.
What?
Which one is
Oh!
uglier? You know what? It's like Jim Sterling said.
What?
Yeah, we just got knocked out of our armor there, Tio.
Remember, Teo, the core has the power to take away our relics. Don't you
Yep.
remember?
What now?
Now this is truly how BS the game can get. Pedro, why don't you give him a lowdown on this boss?
Okay, here's how this boss. Basically, right now he's throwing these, whatever the hell they are, at me. Here, here's the problem. Like, the attacks of this boss are very fast and can cover quite the range. And since your defensive maneuvers are very poor, this game is basically taking all advantage of your poor, slow movement to your what you have to do is you have to consistently try your best to get back to the relics you lost, so that you're big enough so you can damage it. Like, there you go.
I swear to you not, guys, it gets to the point where losing your health and dying would be merciful compared to what they have you do. You get knocked out, you have to trudge your way back just to have a fighting chance against the boss.
Well, there you go. No. And now, once again, he's gonna expel my my relics. And before you ask, no, there's no way of
what's the
avoiding
point
that.
of staying in this mode then?
No, guys, remember, there's no modes in this game. You're either big or you're not.
You're either big, medium, or small. It's like
To avoid this fire,
it's like
oh no.
Christ, you should call this
Oh,
game Knack
Pedro,
or something.
Pedro, look, it's a throwback to the Cortex boss where he throws different color bolts of energy at you and they have different
But you don't have
effects.
to repel them.
And
There you go.
now we're smaller again. I mean we're large but smaller. Ah!
Before you ask, yes, I have to go through this process. That's just how the boss is designed.
Slowly.
You don't
Also,
even have an health bar.
and now, aside from his things, I also have to avoid the big guardians.
Which may remind you, those guardians are now much bigger than you, which means they can follow you just as much.
Come on.
And oh my god, look at that! He lost health while reclaiming the relics.
I love how the final guardian just killed off his own henchman.
Wow.
You failed me.
We could have helped you.
And there you go. That's the final boss.
Two major hits.
And I got a guardian badge. And yes, and there you go. This final, and there you go. The core is destroyed. Sorry to you, we'll never find out what it was because it just got destroyed.
It just exploded. This is in 2 hits.
And
why
now
are you releasing the relics? What are you doing, Knack?
What? Just watch, Theo. Just watch.
Because pretty visuals.
Jesus. I am Jesus.
And now watch this. Just watch. The relics are going to now get rid of all this stuff.
What?
Yeah. That's right. He expelled the relics to destroy that stuff. You know, it's not like we could have used that stuff. I mean, seriously, it's not like that thing was even building it over a city there. Congrats, you've caused even more geographic chaos.
Let's go home.
Yeah. I can't wait for things to get back
By the
to
way,
normal.
you three were completely pointless and useless.
Also, yeah,
they may
whenever
never
you
go
think
back
about
to
Knack,
normal.
didn't even add a pre-destruction one-liner before he delivered the final punch.
All right, everybody, and now everybody,
It's literally episode 1's ending.
that as well, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, now Vargas and Knack and Lucas
Come on, Lucas.
and Charlotte get acclaimed as heroes, even though Charlotte's stupidity caused a lot of people to be killed for no good reason.
Guys, aren't we forgetting one of our integral characters?
Also, Charlotte's face looks scary.
Yeah.
You know,
What happened there?
hey, you know, guys, wasn't there like some guy who kind of helped the professor, you know, kind of as his bodyguard that we should also be celebrating?
They're literally throwing relics at you.
Don't worry, Jova. He'll appear in the final.
No, don't make him bigger. He'll just get ugly.
Ah, funny.
Easy there, Knack.
Sorry, I'll pay for it again.
that's
And
it.
ironically,
Nope.
the greatest threat
You
to our
wish.
safety came from one of our own.
Hi, Jennifer.
And now,
Oh yeah, that's
I would
right.
like
Victor
to
was totally the bad
congratulate
guy.
3 surviving heroes. on
And he got killed
preventing
randomly by the eye of
tremendous tragedy.
Sauron.
Yeah.
Vidocq style.
Thank you, Knack.
Oh, how cute.
Star Wars spits at this.
Doctor,
This latest game
May
was
I?
most unsatisfying.
You know, I dare say I had more fun
I
with
would like to
Dr.
thank
Lautrec
Knack.
than this game.
For his
Me as well.
large, some might say, gigantic contribution to our efforts.
Go away.
But I would
Don't you
also
see,
like
guys?
to
Knack
thank
is going
our
to be a
smallest.
financial
Also,
success.
why
Isn't Mark so witty,
Without his
guys?
foresight, We would have used the key
You know,
ourselves. and
yeah.
perished
Why didn't
instantly.
Jennifer Hale's character give the medal to Lucas instead give it to Vargas for him to give to Lucas?
Because I guess this is
Thank
part
you.
of Vargas's character arc. And he's learned to appreciate Lucas, I guess.
He
so.
hasn't learned jack shit.
And now,
Yeah, what has he
let us
learned?
all
anyway?
take a moment to thank
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
they all
Ryder.
think
Sacrificed
Ryder
his life
died.
so that we might be safe.
Uh,
Our thoughts
Even
are
though,
with you.
and before you ask Teo, in the
Wherever you
sequel,
are.
not only is he alive, but
Well,
everybody
I'm
already.
Pedro.
Actually,
not
don't
just
we
a
get a scene
sequel.
where he just burst through the door and say, "Hey, I'm still alive"? No.
No.
Really?
Pedro. We get an after credit scene.
Oh, there we go.
No, we don't actually. But
Yay!
Yeah, look at that. There he is.
Told ya.
this
There's.
is not after credits. This is before
Oh,
credits.
my
but whatever.
bad. But yeah,
Anyway,
they're alive right
but-
there.
No, but remember, Jova, the other characters still don't know that he's alive, and yet in the sequel, he's already.
Never mind.
Yes,
I was mistaken. It was a during credits cutscene.
So there we go. This is the credits. Just
This is
Ryder.
Also that sand texture. Ah.
This is like-
here's-
Honestly, I'm getting bad flashbacks to the end credit scene of freaking Lone Ranger.
Interesting
Oh my
thing
God,
is,
you're right.
interesting thing is, in the beginning of the sequel, he's already reunited with Lucas, and yet nobody ever questions anything about his survival. So yeah, that's it.
I
That
think-
was Knack.
I think Ryder has a closing line to say to Katrina at some point.
No, we're done, Jova.
Well, by the way, guys, Ryder and Katrina are going to be an item in the next game.
The ending just peters out, and it just kind of ends. It's like the game itself is even not caring about its own ending.
Again, guys, those two are going to be an item in the next game for reasons.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because
Ryder saved her life, Jova. But guess
Well,
what, guys? The game is
Yes.
not done. The game is not done making fun of you, because now we're going to play "How Do You Like Me Now" over the credits.
I actually never heard of that song. I only.
Oh,
think-
let's just say.
Well, Theo, there's a reason why this part was copyright tagged.
Also,
No, I know about the fact of the song. I just haven't heard the song itself.
let's
You'll
just
see.
say, Tio, the way they use that song in context for the credits is really, really arrogant.
It's basically the game making fun of you for going this far to complete the game. It's Pumpkinhead's revenge all over again.
Okay, so Knack was played by TJ Storm.
TJ Storm. Yeah,
and-
we already checked that.
And Prince Amadi for the voice.
Hello,
So, Theo,
Jack.
how do you like Knack now?
I can see as a new purple ornament.
Hey,
Weird.
And now we get to see Knack dancing.
yeah, that's the thing,
Really?
Tio. This is
Yes,
you
it's
think
just
he-
like it.
it's
It's like
got
at the end.
group.
It's like at the end of the first Garfield movie. Oh.
Hey. By the way, Tio, you may notice that this is actually pre-rendered
Yeah.
because it
It's a
actually
CG
looks
it's
better.
technically a CG cutscene. Yeah.
Like seriously, the PS4 can do better than this.
Well,
it wasn't like a launch game.
at least I'm grateful that this game came out in 2013 because otherwise they would have included stuff like dabbing, and that would have been pretty insulting to me.
Oh, by the way, Transformers Fall of Cybertron did this way better.
So, Theo, how do you like Knack now?
I don't think it's as offensive as it may seem.
No. Okay.
It's just a thing. I mean, it could have been interesting if it went the Pixar way and had actual bloopers, fake bloopers of the cutscenes of the game. You know,
The main
the
Nah,
characters actually.
that might be fun, Theo. We can have that.
The main issue people have with this credit scene is that, again, this seems to be implying that Knack is going to be an awesome mascot. Okay, basically, take this into the context of, this as a game. Like, seriously, Tio. Remember, back in the day, Sony were incredibly hyping this game up like it was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Like, seriously, I didn't have a PS4 then, but even I heard about all the praise saying Knack is going to be this new, innovative, wonderful thing.
What the fuck, man?
Can I go first for my final?
Go ahead, Ibs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this game's just more boring than anything else. I mean, there are a few what the hell moments in the plot, but really,
You?
for the most part, it's just boring. There's
Yeah,
nothing
it
really.
is.
It's not really worth me getting all angry over. It's just
Well, admittedly, you're a guy
yeah.
who focuses more on gameplay than stories, so I guess I can see why you'd be more bored than
Yeah,
angry.
I mean, it's a platformer, so I don't really focus all that much on the story. But yeah, it's just boring, and I'm glad that Knack 2 is even remotely better than this, because otherwise this whole series was a wasted venture.
Dwibs, I'm gonna warn you
Trust
right
me,
now.
trust me. The Knack 2 is just as much of a waste, just not as apparent.
Oh, okay, look. If you like better gameplay, sure, but even with Knack 2 being better, I couldn't really recommend it because it's... You know what? No, I'm not even going to describe it since, we're so close to actually commentating on it. I'm going to let you see for yourself.
Look at the power of the PS4, guys.
Like,
For the
Yeah.
players.
okay.
Yeah, I'm done. This game's just boring and stuff.
Hold on, he's about to finish.
He's
I
about
guess.
to.
I think.
The crash dash, the crash dance also came from Japan.
Can I not stare for the ending to Knack's crotch, please?
Boo!
Yeah, it's like I just said.
Get out of
crash,
here.
the crash dance also came from Japan, and that was much more endearing.
Wait,
Even
hold on.
the redone one in the Insane trilogy was more endearing.
Wait, the crash dance came from Japan?
Your
Yeah,
progress is
remember, David,
insane.
there were-
I'd continue a load game from the menu. You can continue this game from the beginning of our story, keeping all of your gadgets and crystal relics. So get ahead, guys, and
Yeah.
repeat the game over and over so you can collect all of that shit.
Yeah,
Nope, I love the video.
Remember, Joe, that in the Japanese version of Crash 2, you do a code and then it shows Crash doing that dance. That's where it came from.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Crash already did the dance.
Come on, guys, let's
whatever.
wrap this up. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
Joe, for final thoughts.
I'm done. Next.
At the end of the day, well, aside from the obvious thing about the sense that this is missing missed potential, the game, I'm more weirded out than enraged. Yes, the waste of talent of Mark Cerny is unbelievable in this to witness in all of its festering glory. But at the end of the day, it's more baffling than rage-inducing to me because these things were deliberate, obviously. So, in a sense, you could say plot holes can, that happen doing a bad story per se, maybe a chance of someone just being just bad at writing or just missing these things. Mark Cerny seems to be having deliberately written those things thinking they actually work with each other, but they just don't. So the idea that this person doesn't know actually how to write properly is actually convinced that his work was destined for so great many things is unbelievable, especially for a person that was actually talented enough to progress this much into the gaming industry and turn the fate of a company upside down with just a single console, because remember, despite having been risen again after a while, the PS3 was still being a bit outclassed by the Xbox 360, even at the end of their cycle. The PS4 was the game changer in everything. Also, it had the fact that Xbox One was a complete piece of garbage, but yeah.
Well, actually, too, if you check the numbers, the PS3 actually did manage to outsell the 360 in lifetime sales at the end of it. Probably Last of Us helped.
Admittedly, though, that was kind of endgame.
Exclusives in general, because Sony pushed a lot, even on third-party titles, like the Tales of games. But my point is, other than that, the gameplay is mediocre when it's not bullshitting on you. Like, even at its best, the game is surprisingly simple with bizarre choice actor. I get the idea, though. I like the thought process of having an escalation of next progression in size. At least on paper, at the start of each level, the idea of that next doesn't have to stack every single time and doesn't have to stack all the time, and instead you have to progress naturally with the relics. And even the relic placement seem to have been fair. The problem is that the game itself is not built around. Not around that in order to compensate it enough. And instead has weird and bullshit enemy placement. The output damage is horrible. The gimmicks of each level are practically unbearable. And even the supposed power-ups at best that just give you more health and more ways for the bad guys to kill you. pretty much. The score is forgettable. Like, I get it's exactly like Sonic Boom Rise of League. It's not bad per se. It's just very bland, and it's your typical carton tasting cereal, breakfast cereal. So at the end of the day, what's left? The trophy list? Fuck, I'm not even gonna do that, so I'm not even counting it.
Like, I'm gonna warn you, Tio. You may not have raged as much, but trust me, try playing this game. You're gonna rage at how much it wastes your time.
Well, here's the difference, Joel. I might as well compare this to another Sony games where I actually was willing to play for multiple reasons, and I actually enraged on it. Jak 2. Jak 2 has a gameplay that shits on you just like this one. Like, in a sense that the enemies ambushes you, your upgrades are very limited and story-based. But the thing that kept me going, it was actually the fact that I actually got interested in the character and what I was supposed to do. You know, even despite the bizarre setting change, but that's a story for another day. The point being, the difference between Jak 2 and this one is that with Jak 2, I actually cared about who was I control with and the people around it. Here, the story sucks when it's not too confusing and mind-boggling. The characters are either flat or just mean-spirited when you think about it. Now, more mean-spirited because, you know, the Doctor is not just intentionally stupid. He's willful to do bad things in order to progress his science things.
Don't forget how he laughs off the Goblin's complaints.
And not just that, he prioritizes other stuff rather than to saving the person he loves that is just rediscovered. So at the end of the day, there's practically nothing in this game. This game is a ball of nothing when you think about it.
Yep, and I can assure you, Teo, the sequel is not much better.
Like, you know, I dare say the story may be...
What can I say? Looking forward to it, I guess. I'm done.
I guess I'll go next then.
Go ahead.
Yeah, when I played this game, I hated it. Like, from the get-go, right out of the starting gate. And it's not even a game that you can say, well, you know, it has a steep learning curve like Wonderful 101. Never mind the fact that Wonderful 101 had other things to keep me interested before I got good at that game. No, the gameplay sucks. Like, seriously, you know, for a game that wants to be a beat-em-up, there are so few moves for you. And no, I'm not going to count... Actually, no, you don't even really get new moves, aside from maybe the Crystal Relics. And again, I think at most there's only 4 Crystal Relics, which may remind you, you're going to have to replay the game so many times just to get said Crystal Relics intact. And yeah, this game... Okay, this game has a power-up that allows you to find the collectibles. Literally, the relics, which are essentially bits of health. Do I even need to say more? No, I don't, but I'm going to go on. That just goes to show, this game is so unnecessary. Like, there was little reason for this game to exist outside of showing what the PS4 can do with the tech particles.
But don't you see, Jova? We wanted to demonstrate how Sony's launcher wasn't just shooters. We also had a cartoony platformer for family.
Hey, Sony, you know another company that showed that they didn't just do shooters with something that seemed like a tech demo yet actually had a proper game and story? Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed. Congrats, Sony. You got outdone by Ubisoft.
Also, a marvel not mistaken.
Yeah. Like, and yeah, the story is one of the worst I've ever seen before. It's boring at times when it's not being blatantly stupid. The game and story come together to be so inconsistent that it hurts, and it constantly taunts you with how much it wastes your time. It's a slog. The bosses aren't really intuitive or fun either, and really, this game does not really look that good. I mean, okay, I'd say at best it looks like the best thing that the PS3 could crank out. Actually, no.
Fortunately, Knack 2 will actually look PS4 tier.
Yeah. It's like,
it helps that they got the art director from Gravity Rush 2 to do it.
I think the thing that just ticks me off the most about this game is the level of arrogance surrounding it. It's like, I can feel the arrogance of the developers thinking, yeah, you know, this will be a guaranteed success. and it just feels wrong. Like, yeah, okay, I was back in Sony back day since, they were against Microsoft's Xbox One at the time, but that doesn't mean that they can just crank out anything like this and expect it to sell. So yeah, I consider Knack and Knack 2 a reflection of some of the darkest periods of Sony. Yes, even alongside the PS3. Alright.
So congratulations, Knack. You managed to out-meme the giant enemy crab from Genji Tales of a Blade.
That's pretty good. Alright, Pedro, take us away with your final thoughts.
How sad is it, by the way, that that poor man went from being the art director of Gravity Rush 2 and Gravity Rush 1 to being the art director of Knack 2?
Wait. So Mark Cerny was even involved in...
remember, Jova, these the Knack games were made by Japan Studio, the same developer that makes the Gravity Rush games.
Oh.
And for Knack 2, Mark decided to use the art director of the Gravity Rush.
But the art direction doesn't even look different from that of this game, really. What was the point?
It does look better.
Well, okay. I mean, it looks better, but essentially, you get what I mean, Uncle. The art style, though, doesn't seem that different. I mean, the graphics are better. It's the art style that's still the same, though.
Mm-hmm. My guess is, Jova, it's a matter of that particular art director being a much better guy at using the console.
True. That could be it. Go on.
Honestly, I think there's not even that much more I can add. This game is such a boring slog, and it pisses me off because of the fucking cheap difficulty and the complete mind-numbingly stupid plot that consistently insults my intelligence. It sounds like you just wanted my help to exterminate all the humans.
Or, of course, but you left me to die, so I have nothing more to say to you. Or, Knack, if you're not the key, then you're of no news to me. Take him out.
You see, guys, Teo, the plot twist is that Goblin Mercer is evil.
Actually, I wouldn't have been surprised if the plot twist was that the goblins are the good guys and the humans are just the idiotic villains.
Actually, that's another thing.
We needed the Crystal Wars.
Actually, that's another thing, too. Let's pretend for a moment. Let's go back to 2013 for a moment. As of yet, we still don't know if there's going to be a sequel to this game. Okay, what the hell happened to Gandahar? Did he just disappear?
Honestly, considering everything, probably at the time people would have expected like a DLC epilogue.
Yeah, and again, like Teo just said, what about the Crystal Wars? Are we actually going to explain what the hell that was?
Hey Mark, what about that pendant of Lucas's that, was kind of jabbed at, but never actually established?
It only existed for the purpose of Katrina putting a bug on it.
Like, by the way, and let me remind you guys, Knack 2 kind of came out of nowhere. Like, no one was really expecting that, so...
Well, you might remember, like, we both were there, all four of us, watching the reveal trailer at the PlayStation Experience, and I literally went, no! Nobody likes Knack!
Yeah, I missed that commentary.
And now you know why I reacted like that.
Yeah.
So,
aren't you so happy, Teo, that we're wasting Japan Studios' talented developers on this shit?
Well, considering what they've been doing in the past years, I guess this is probably one of the least of the most damaging things they've done.
Knack 2 maybe, but Knack 1 was one of the worst.
Team Siren, Pedro.
Yeah.
Japan Studio has always been supportive in this kind of regard. Call me back when we're actually gonna do like a new Patapon or something.
Or a new Gravity Rush?
Team Siren.
Remember, Jova, the creator of Gravity Rush says he wants to move on now.
It's not just that, this was made by the team who made Forbidden Siren, whatever
Anyway, just to wrap this up, yeah, this game sucks. It's abundantly clear why it sucks. Everybody realizes why. It's not hard at all. Yes, it does have a small minority of fans, but even the fans usually, when asked to justify their fandom of this game, they themselves don't really know what to say. They deep down they know it sucks. It's just that they want. My usual argument is, guys, we have Ratchet and Clank on the PS4 now. You don't need to keep pretending.
Yeah.
Anyway,
basically
and Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crash.
It was back when fans were hungry, hoping that Sony would get a new cartoony platformer mascot.
which is why Knack 2 bombed in sales because it came out in the same year that Mario Odyssey, Crash, and plenty of other great platformers came out.
Heck, even Microsoft got a new platformer out this year.
Yeah,
Super Lucky's Tale.
Yeah, Super Lucky's Tale. See, 2017 was basically the revival year of 3D platformers. And Knack 2 decided, I guess, to join in, but it was overly crowded. This Knack 1 sold reasonably well because it was literally the only 3D platformer that came out aside from Super Mario 3D World.
That, and it also kind of got, sold along with these PS4 packages.
Yeah, 3D World was and 3D World was on the Wii U. So yeah, Knack 2, however, came out in 2017, which basically was destroyed by the competition. But anyway, that's about it. The game sucks. The sequel will also suck, as you'll see when we get to it. So see you for Knack 2.
And I dare say, while the gameplay is better in the sequel, the story might actually piss me off even more.
It's literally the exact same story again. But I'll get into it. See you, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.